Are you ready? Can Crushers. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best Can Crushers Podcast. Well, that, my friends, is just incredible.
Welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, the Spotlight Edition. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez. Thank you, Just Incredible, for that great introduction. As, holy schmolies, we are essentially 11 days away from Christmas. Where has 2022 gone? My God. The snow might be falling where you are. The snow is falling where I am. It's wonderful. Let it snow. I'm kidding. I am a Grinch. So I need to go to warmer places. I need to catch a wave. I need to talk to Shelby Waters, the wave maker. Yeah, up-and-coming wrestler in the Pennsylvania area, and just, she's got a spark. She's got a spark about her. I reached out and I said, I need to talk to you. Get this dreary weather out of here. We need to sit down. Maybe this conversation today will be the new Punxsutawney Phil. For those that don't know that, definitely Pennsylvania reference, to bring spring sooner. So we can go crash some waves. We can go hang out in some water and all of that. No, Shelby's really cool. Make sure you check her out on all her socials. And, of course, you guys know you'll hear about them at the end of the show. Write them down. Give her a follow. Watch her career grow. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm going to save the rest for the podcast. Because you know I have to do this stuff. We are available everywhere podcasts are. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Buzzsprout. The list can go on and on. Wherever you're listening to podcasts right now, we're there. So I'm sure that's the one that you like the most. I do ask you, though, if you can rate and review us. That would be cool. Hey, 5 stars for this guy because he loves talking wrestling with independent wrestlers all over the world. It's really cool. And leave a review, whatever. That's awesome. Well, you can get us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of it's at CanCrusher69. Join Can Crusher Nation. Get involved. Be part of the discussion. And wrestlers, referees, promoters, whatever. You want to be spotlighted on Can Crushers. CanCrusher69 at gmail.com. Slide an email in. Tell me what's going on. We'll get you booked. And you'll have your own spotlight, just like the wave maker, Shelby Waters. And, of course, we couldn't do this without Al Snow and the Hooligans at Collar and Elbow. We want to thank Al for the continuous support. Yeah, it's like I had a couple drinks or something before I did this interview. Maybe not. If you're a longtime listener, yes. We couldn't thank Al enough for all the support he has given us through the years. So, we pay it back. We give you guys a promo code at Collar and Elbow. Go buy some of the hats, shirts, tees, hoodies, all that cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have at Collar and Elbow. Again, my favorites right now, as recording, are the Monday Night War ones. And you would think, wow, Mark would probably like the WWE one better. No, it's a classic WCW one is awesome. Check them out. The shirts are amazing. I always have one on, have it be Shad Gaspar, Dusty Rhodes, the Animal one, Still, my favorite is the Al Snow head Macho Man one. Yeah, and it looked good in purple. So use our promo code Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers, and you'll save 10%. So yeah, it's time to get Shelby, the Wave Maker Waters, on the line. I've said it 3 different ways. Let's see if I can piss her off. No, I'm not trying to piss her off. I'm not trying to piss her off yet. It's the Wave Maker, Shelby Waters, coming on here after you hear from Al Snow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Russellville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories, including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Russellville.com. Russellville, it's where wrestling lives.
Hey, this is the Barbie Killer, Haley Shadows. I absolutely hate Can Crushers, but I'm going to be on it, so stay tuned.
And welcome back to Can Crushers, guys. You heard in the intro how excited I was for this lady who is making waves in the independent circle of Pennsylvania and the East Coast and all around. She's splashing around the waters. She's the wave maker herself, Shelby Waters. Shelby, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Besides this this weather, listen, guys, this is a Pennsylvania person as well, so I'm super excited about this. This miserable weather we're having in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, just rain and coldness.
Yeah. Can we fast forward a little bit? That's all that's, you're the wave maker, first and foremost, so you like being outside in the sand, in the sun, and all that, right?
I love it. I grew up being outside, especially in the woods of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not a lot of water. Well, I guess there's water if you're a creek or a holler swimmer or anything like that. Now you're really pulling it out of me, Shelby. I didn't think I was going to be calling anything a holler tonight, but that's all right.
Where I grew up, it's literally all lakes. That's even what my school was named after. There's like 4 of them around me.
There you go. There you go. So, how's your Christmas shopping doing?
Well, not good, but not terrible.
So you're the same way as me right now. Maybe 40% done.
Yeah, maybe 30.
Oh, even worse than me. Good. There's somebody out there worse than me. But I'm a guy. This is going to sound horrible. My God, Mark, I'm going to be horrible towards Shelby tonight. Like women, my wife has been done since like August. How the hell do you know what I want in August?
My thing is most of my family was all born in December. So it's like birthday, Christmas, birthday. So. Do
you piggyback the presents?
No, we try not to, but sometimes it happens. It depends.
Right. The littles you don't. I hope you don't for the littles at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Shelby, let's get into this. First question I always ask everybody, and then it just kind of turns into a random conversation because I don't know where I go, but you've learned that in the 5 minutes that we talked already. Who introduced you to professional wrestling, and where did you come up with this love of wrestling?
So when I first got into wrestling, I was actually, how old? It was 2017. So I think I was 18, 19 years old. That was really what introduced me to wrestling. And that was solely because one of my coworkers did it. And I came down for a tryout And the next day I couldn't walk. I was walking like a penguin because I muscles in my body that I didn't know I had. And I fell in love with it, and I stuck with it. And then come right before COVID, I took a short break, and then COVID hit. So
You took a longer break.
Yeah. And then I came back, but then I needed ankle surgery. So I had to put it on hold again.
I did see that. I saw Wool Round and just called this 5 years into the business, but, took a break and you took, everybody had to take COVID and then your ankle. So roughly then, we're saving 5 total, but what are we looking at realistically? 2, 3?
I would say like 3.5 in the business, but only like one. I actually just hit a year of doing shows.
In ring and everything.
Yep.
Nice. That's all right. I mean, it's you've learned the business then for those 5 years of being around it, so you know everything about it. So that's yeah. You're maybe a wily veteran. Maybe.
It's very interesting because I train at Backbreakers Training Center in Archibald, Pennsylvania, and a lot of my friends that are training right now, they sometimes I feel like they're like miles ahead of me, but then in certain instances, like I'm miles ahead of them. But I've been in the business longer, but they've been actively training more recently, because when I had my surgery, that was in May, and that was I came back in February, and then I was training, getting ready for shows, needed the surgery, had to take more time off. So I just started doing shows again this past September. So it's like it's kind of a weird dynamic sometimes for me.
Yeah, because you had that start, then you had COVID where you were shut down a year. How is that overall with the starting and the stopping? Because it's got to be rough, one, on your body, but we all know wrestling is also very mental as well. So how is that you took essentially 2 breaks already in 5 years? Not that you called for them or anything like that, but it's got to be rough jumping back in then.
It was very rough, but then it was also probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because when I came back this year, like I am miles ahead of where I was. When I took the first break, it like mental stuff for me was very difficult. Like it was very mentally exhausting for me. And then, I took the break and I came back and I was good. I was good to go. But then the second break, it was like a physical break.
A real break, yeah.
And when I came back, it wasn't that I couldn't do certain things, but I had to either adjust how I was doing it or just try to avoid doing it, because it would feel weird on my ankle. I had a graft put in, so certain things just make my foot feel very weird.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, because I've seen both sides of it, between the mental aspect and the physical. But honestly, taking the break was probably the best thing I could have done for my wrestling career.
Was the break, the ankle break, was it wrestling related?
No,
Of course not. Okay, sorry.
So when I was younger, I must have torn my tendon, and I never knew that. I never hurt my ankle when I was younger. So it started causing me issues, and I just went to go see the doctor because my aunt got on my butt about it. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go. And then she took the MRI, found the tear. So she had to repair it. And I asked her, I was like, how long has it been there? And she had no idea. But based on like the scar tissue that was around it, she said probably at least 10 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And I never knew, because it didn't cause me pain.
Right.
So, I was wrestling with a torn tendon and didn't even notice.
Holy cow. Let's revert back then. Sports in high school then? Can you put it to something like that?
I was very athletic in school, but I didn't play sports. So honestly, the only thing that I could think of is like I was being an idiot playing in the woods when I was younger and like jumped off of something or fell. I don't know. Again,
Pennsylvania, wrapping it all right back around to the start of this podcast. Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, that's what I would do when I was younger. I would just, go out, play in the woods, and hopefully I didn't see a bear.
There you go. Apple trees, everything, just climbing through them, playing Jungle Jane, swinging through them. I could see it. I could see it right now. So, late bloomer to wrestling. When do you? I know you kind of gave us that little snippet that you were looking for something to train. But when does this aha moment that you're going to stay with backbreakers then? Because you go down for the one time and you could have walked and said, nah, I think I'll play kickball the rest of my life.
So actually for me, it was the moment that I knew that I needed to come back and like this was for me was after I took my first break, because I was just, I was still friends on Facebook with everyone I trained with. And I would see their pictures. I would see how well they were doing for themselves. And I missed it. And I wasn't planning on coming back after I took that first break. But I, came to realize like I really missed it and I really wanted to get back in the ring. So I came back and, now I'm very thankful because now I have some very, very close friends in the business. And I can't imagine my life any different than it is right now.
Wrestling gets in your blood and it's stuck there. It's a good disease, right? It could be good and bad. I don't know everything behind the curtain, but it's just a great disease to have because it's just, you said it, it's a family built for you.
Mm-hmm.
So why, I know this is kind of was in that synopsis story too, but why backbreakers? Why you went there, you had friends, this, that, and the other, but why not try to find something else? They're great, by the way. I'm not trying to undersell them. Listen, backbreakers is amazing, but why not try for Mark Martinez's wrestling school or something like that?
So for me, I'll be like completely honest with this one. I have ADHD, so sometimes like learning things is a little hard for me. It's hard for me to focus on some stuff. And Justin Glory is probably the best teacher that I have ever had in my entire life. He knows when to be tough on you, but then knows when to pull back. He is great at explaining things, doing things. He was just probably the best teacher that I could have had.
Thank you for saying that. I have wrestlers come on all the time, and they give props to the name like Backbreakers or, OVW Wrestling School or wherever, but they never pinpoint the trainer. And they're like, I don't know if I should say, no. If you love what he did for your career, this is also another star for Justin. And, it's awesome. It's great. So thank you for giving him praise here tonight.
I always tell people, like, he was always like my second dad.
Okay. Speaking of which, you tell your family, hey, I'm getting into wrestling. What do they say?
So this is a good story because the ending, you'll never expect what happened. So I literally didn't tell anybody until after my tryout and after I joined and got started. And I just came home and we were all having dinner and I'm like, yeah, I started doing professional wrestling, and they no one says a thing. Everyone is just staring at me and I'm like, yeah, it's fun. And everyone's confused. No one says anything. And we just continue eating dinner. They didn't believe me. So
they didn't see you, walking, gingerly in after getting beat up.
Well, no, my dad worked night shift and, I just, really only saw each other here and there. Okay. And it was just fun. Fast forward to the time I graduate Backbreakers. I graduate and it's a few months before I took my first break. My dad actually asks me if he is okay. If I don't he asked me if I was okay if he joined wrestling. So my dad actually ended up joining wrestling because he saw me doing it and it looked fun. And my dad
No way.
My dad is, oh God, he's going to yell at me if he hears this. I think he's 52, 53. I'm really bad with ages, but I know he's at least 51. So, and he does wrestling. So
he's 50-ish. The best way to say this is 50-ish for us old guys over here. I'm jealous now. clearly I need, because if he joined then, that old, and I don't mean Dad, I'm sorry, you're older than me, but not by much. I should come down to Backbreakers then. I'm all in. Yes, let's do this. I'm excited. So I'm not going to switch a long time, but has Dad had a match? Is he a referee? Am I going to have Dad as a spotlight as well? I mean, we need to talk about this.
So he's reffed a few matches, but I believe he had 2 matches, like 2 actual matches. But it's just so funny because, I remember when my dad was there for my debut, and, after my match, he actually came back and, gave me a hug and everything. And then when he had his debut, I remember sitting in the chair and I couldn't watch half of it. I was so nervous. And it's like, I know it's safe. I know they know what they're doing, but it was just the fact that was my dad doing it. And it was just so funny.
I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps. We talked beforehand, guys. I ruin it all the time during the podcast, but I could just, picture my son doing the same thing, and oh man, that's cool. That is the coolest moment that Dad joined because of you and everything. Has Dad reffed one of your matches, or that's probably way too much storyline going on there, right?
He hasn't. So because since I just came back and Backbreakers isn't running as many shows, it just hasn't lined up. So like the shows that I'm doing are kind of like far away from home. So he likes to stay just in the area of like Scranton, but we're hoping once we do the next show, we could do something in the ring. We were in a Rumble together, and we had like a little spot there, but we're hoping in the future we can do something else too.
Oh my God, I need to see all this footage. All of a sudden, did either one throw the other one out? Please tell me you threw your dad. Dad, I'm sorry. This is Shelby's interview, not yours. Tell me you threw Dad out.
I didn't. Honestly, that Rumble was such a wild experience. I can't even tell you like what happened. It was just so crazy, but it was just funny because also if you like saw me and my dad next to each other, like I'm very small. I'm only 5'3", and I'm like 120 pounds.
You're petite, yes.
And then my dad is like huge. Like he's been working in a bakery since he was like 8 years old, tossing around like 100-pound flour sacks all night.
Yep.
Like my big. So it's just hilarious.
I'm sure Dad doesn't have blue hair either.
No, he doesn't have hair. But that's
you have to watch those bald jokes. I was at least saying he had hair. Jeez.
Hey, he blames me for it, but for him not having hair, but I blame my older brother.
We all blame our kids for it. Trust me. I'm supporting Dad on that one. So let's talk a little bit more about your training then. After the first initial, holy God, this hurts, this anything, what was the hardest thing for you to pick up? Was it you said you're uber athletic, so I would think none of that is. Was it the storyline part of it? Was it the moveset? What kind of threw you for a loop?
For me, it was really like all the mental blocks that like, because you would go to do something and it's really easy, but then your brain and your body is not working together. Just like very simple things like taking a face bump. In a match, I can take a great face bump because I don't have time to think about it. But like in training, if I just have to take a face bump, I like get in my head about it. Yep. And I just like stupid things like that. That was always the hardest part for me. And then the other part is like not structuring a match, but making the match make sense. But I've been getting help from some of the guys that I train with, and I've been getting better at it, and it's making more sense to me now. So I think give me another month or two and I'll be fine on that.
Yeah, it's all baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, Shelby, right?
Exactly.
I'm sure Dad's told you that one. That's an old Dad one. Was there ever a moment in training, maybe months in, you had those on and off breaks though. So maybe this is a stupid question. Was there ever a moment you're like, I'm done?
I would say there's been moments that I've just like sat and thought like, why the heck am I doing this? Yeah. But because of the breaks, I really think I never got to that point. But also, if I didn't take those breaks, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah. I'm saying this, you can piggyback it if you want to. We're huge mental health advocates on here, and I think just like any other sport, and I understand, get ready, I'm going to get hate on this, Shelby. Wrestling is entertainment. Yes, it is. It's also a sports entertainment, this, that, and the other thing. I think from the very beginning, WWE all the way down to Martinez Wrestling Federation, which is mine, which I don't have, so I always make fun of my own. I think there should be an off season for wrestlers for that reason. I mean, us fans should realize that, you have Chelsea Green, you have Carmella, you have people like that out there just beating themselves to death. They need to recover. It's not just body recovery, it's mental health as well. So we support any breaks in wrestling because of that.
No, you are like 100% right, honestly. And really the only break in wrestling people will get is like the last 2 weeks of December and the first 2 weeks of January. But that just depends on where you are. It's not every promotion does that kind of break thing. So it kind of depends where you are, who you are. But honestly, for me personally, the mental aspect of wrestling was way harder than the physical aspect.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. We really do. From youngsters, even to the legends that said the same thing when they started. It was just whole. And it was different back in the day of, yourself and, legend Manny Fernandez or legend Cody Rhodes or, anybody like that they're like, yeah. First match. Let's talk about that a little bit. Then we'll kind of shy away and do some silly stuff. But you remember your first match? How did you feel about it?
I do. So my first match was my old gimmick, and I'm not going to mention it because she is long and dead. But
okay.
My first match was with Adina Steele, and that was at my training center in Archibald.
Okay.
It was very fun. It was probably I would say that was my out of all the matches I've done as of right now, that was my second favorite match. Because, I trained with her for so long, and it was just nice to be in the ring at a show with her, and everything went great. And then I would say like my very favorite match was one I just had recently at Sanctuary with Nathaniel Cunningham. He is also like my best friend. So it was just so fun because we've trained together all these years. Like, that's what I like about wrestling. I love wrestling my friends. But then it's great to wrestle new people because then you learn so much from them.
Right. And I love that your right now favorite match is with one of your friends because it tells that story. Listen, you're on a podcast, you're talking. The trust that I'm sure you did more in that match than you did in Adina's match. Because it's not that you didn't trust Adina, it's just you had a maybe a little bit closer bond with him, and you just ran and did crazier stuff because you knew, all right, he's going to catch me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Was that part of it?
I would say, well, my match with Adina, because it was my first match, we didn't do anything too crazy, as most people. That's how it usually goes. But with my match with Nathan, it was actually kind of scary for me because I didn't want to mess up that match. I wanted it to be a good match, and it was. So after, it made it even better. But half of the stuff that I did in that match, which was 2 months ago, that match, half of the stuff that I didn't do since 2019. And
wow.
I afterwards, we went to the back, and I was just like, did it go okay? Because I was just so flustered.
Emotional damage, right?
Exactly.
But look, now you're talking in a podcast that it's your favorite match so far. So that's cool. I'm sure you guys talked it out, and he's like, Shelby, you did great. This was an awesome match. This should be on your highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, here's the question, and then we'll really take a break because I fibbed. Who is Shelby Waters? Like, who can I say it's wrestling. You beg, borrow, or steal gimmicks or little bits of gimmicks or whatever. Who is Shelby Waters?
This is kind of a tough one for me because honestly, with how I am now, I'm such a different person than I was back then. And now, like, Shelby just wants to have fun. She wants to have good matches and make very corny water jokes and
very corny
dad jokes because that's what I do in my everyday life anyway. So might as well bring it into wrestling.
So and I'm not saying it's a generic answer because they get it across the board anyway. You're Shelby times 11. That whole thing that I'm sure you've heard it. BU times 100, BU times 11, or whatever number they want to use as the max. It's you in real life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a break from wrestling a little bit and off days. When you're not going to the gym, you're not going to training, what do you like to do? Are you a video game nut or books, music? Kind of get us a little bit into in your own safe space without being weird. What do you like to do?
Honestly, one of my favorite hobbies is just to watch TV. I get so enthralled in TV. I have my favorite shows. All of the tattoos on my leg actually are TV related. I'm going to be doing a whole leg sleeve of just TV shows that I like. So TV, I play my Wii a lot because I still think the Wii was one of the best video game consoles.
The original Wii?
The original Wii.
Wow. Old school, girl. I
still have it from, I think it came out in 2009. It's beat up, but it still works.
Wii Sports? Is that one of your ones? What's your go-to Wii game?
So I'm an anime fan. So definitely the Naruto games.
Yep.
Any of those.
Okay. Now I wasn't a creeper and I didn't zoom on your leg, the picture you sent me, but because we talked, I have a logo sleeve of wrestlers like The Undertaker, Dusty Rhodes, Chelsea Green. I have their logos or stuff. What do you have on your leg? And I would be upset if you don't say The Office.
Oh, I guess you're gonna be.
Well, I also was gonna roll this question another way too, but go ahead.
So as of right now, I have The Walking Dead, The Legend of Korra, and Naruto. And I'm also getting The 100, Bones, My Hero Academia, Grey's Anatomy, and whatever else room I could squeeze in there. But that's the plan for right now.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. No, once you said you were in anime, I kind of threw the whole Office thing out the window. I've never spoken to anybody from Scranton to know this, but how is your whole perception of people in Scranton saying The Office? You guys just have to get sick of it, right?
The thing is, it's very weird because that's always the first question people ask. But even in this area, it's one or the other. There's no just casual Office fans. It's either you are a diehard The Office fan or you don't watch it at all. And I don't watch it at all.
Touche.
But most of my friends, especially in the wrestling community, they love The Office
because it's stupid. It's stupid humor, absolutely stupid humor, and wrestlers need that in their life sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm honestly I'm sure I would like the show, but I'm a comfort show kind of person, so I just rewatch the same stuff over and over again. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen The Walking Dead.
Really? Are we talking hundreds?
I've seen season 1 through 4, just those seasons alone, about 12 to 13 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I just rewatch it. And when I was younger, I would go to a lot of Walking Dead conventions, and I met a bunch of the actors. Best day of my life was when I met Norman Reedus. I like lost all feeling in my legs.
Are you going to have him sign your leg someday? Like some random people have people sign stuff on their bodies? And to get it tattooed?
I'm going to have him sign right under my Walking Dead tattoo. And then I will get it tattooed on me.
See? It's a great idea. It's a great idea. All right, silly questions. I have 4 silly questions, and sometimes it just is really stupid. If you lived on an island, what 3 things must you have?
Mountain Dew.
What? You just go ahead.
Probably like my Wii, a TV, because like I can hunt stuff and fish. Like that's no problem. But I gotta get something to keep me entertained, and then like something good to drink.
But you need electricity as well, so the Mountain Dew might have to go. Because I don't think you're giving up the Wii and the TV. So okay.
I'm sure there's something on that island.
Yeah, it's your own island. It's fantasy anyway.
Exactly.
If you weren't wrestling, what else is a dream job?
I would love to be a dermatologist.
Really?
I think the medical field is very fascinating, especially anything with the skin. I'm very interested in, it's funny because I've instead of just going to school to do it, I went to school to be a real estate agent, event planner, and a cosmetologist, and I don't do any of it.
I have a communications degree. I mean, essentially, I'm doing this, but I started this upon myself, and I'm a garbage man. So, yes, completely understand. Would you rather, I told you they're going to get worse. Would you rather have fins as arm or be a full mermaid?
Probably a full mermaid, because then like I wouldn't have to worry about like shaving my legs.
And the wrestler in you, I figured you'd want fins as arms so you could at least stand up and, swap people with your fins, and you could still learn how to do maneuvers and stuff, where now you're just essentially a fish out of water in the ring. But all right. All right.
I have a funny question that kind of relates to the last one that you said.
Wait, what did you just go ahead?
Here's a would you rather for you.
Okay.
Would you rather have to fight 100 horse-sized ducks or 1 duck-sized horse?
1 duck-sized horse.
I'm sorry, one one horse-sized duck.
1 horse-sized. I think I would still take the 1. I think I could get some shots in. I mean, because it's a no DQ, right? I can use anything. 100's a lot to beat down. So I'll take my chances with 1. Sure. This one's back into wrestling a little bit. If you could join and make your own faction, what 3 other girls are you? Or it doesn't even need to be girls. Screw it. Changing the rules today. What 3 other wrestlers would you want to join a faction with?
I know Adina would definitely be one of them, because me and her get along really great. And I think it would be kind of cool, like the steel and then water sort of thing.
Yep.
And I probably would say, I just forgot her name for a second. Vicky, because she has such a mouth on her and she's a really good worker. So it'd be great. It'd be fun.
Okay. That's great. All right. Shifting back into wrestling a little bit. When you're in training and everything, because you continue to train now and all that, do you do much tape study? Like, does your trainer say, hey, I want you to go home and watch some of this from YouTube or some of that from YouTube? Or is he pretty much, Shelby, do your own thing and then I'll, put my own spin on it and you'll be like, yes, no, maybe?
it's more like the second weight right now, but we like to like watch our matches over again and then pick them apart. But like right now, because I've been graduated a while, I've been doing shows for a little bit. So like right now, like for my training, I'm really trying to hone in on like picking a move set, because that was always a big issue for me. Like I never knew what I wanted to do, what I liked to do. So right now it's kind of like just testing out a lot of different moves, seeing what I like, what I don't like.
Without giving any major spoiler or anything like that, maybe like a new finish or anything, do you have a couple that you really enjoy doing that you haven't thrown out there yet and, might make a big splash? Oh, that was the first water pun I used. A big splash in 2023?
So I've been learning how to do a Hurricane Rana, and I can't wait to do it in a match. I did one in a match so far, but he was very tall, so it was a little weird, but it still worked. It was fine. And I'm also trying to still pick another finisher. I'm just not sure what I want to do yet.
Okay. I always give people a little bit of tape study. Just, you can take it as you want it. My 2 cents. Somebody I could see you as, watch some Sherry Martel stuff, because that whole attitude, because listen, you have a mouth on you. You really do sometimes. I've seen some clips. You have a mouth on you. Some of her stuff in her matches would be awesome, but then flip to the bubbly side. I think Kylie Ray is another one that if you get into watching things, just write those down. Or when this comes out, you'll be like, oh shit, what did he say? You re-listen to it. Those two, I think, would work well with you perfectly.
All right.
Yeah. Or you're like, yeah, that's great, Mark. Shut up. No, it's fine. Can you look back on yourself, just a couple years ago and say, I'm proud. I did this. I'm going to continue to grow and, reach around and give yourself a pat on the back.
For me, honestly, it's like very weird for me, because I know I need more confidence when it comes to wrestling, but that's everybody,
Yeah.
And I'll get there. But I am so proud of just what I've done so far, because like, who just randomly decides that they want to join wrestling? And, so
right.
I'm proud of where I am now. And I think come next year, it's going to be even better, because I have some really good matches coming up with great people, and I'm just super excited.
Yeah, we'll get there, because if you follow her on her socials, which, by the way, you do great on socials, you should have your own seminar for some of these other wrestlers that I talk to, because you at least post it more than once a month out. You remind us what's going on and everything. So you do a great job on social media.
I try to stay on there as much as I can, because I like also staying up to date with like everybody else to see what they're doing, where they like working, if they had a bad experience. Like I'm always looking at promotions and where people are working and who's working there, because if what I like to do too is like if like for example Adina, if she's having a match somewhere that I never heard of, I always watch the match, like when it comes out on YouTube or whatever, because I want to see how she's working, how the other girl is working, and the production of the venues and everything like that.
You're using social media correctly. It's your networking tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like just post something hilarious like once in a while. Like never in my life did I think that I would choke slam a guy named Tarzan, but I did it, and it was funny.
Right? It's fun. That's what wrestling is. I wish people would just settle down. And it happened on AEW. I might have been a month, 2 months ago now. There was a sign that says, just enjoy wrestling. Stop with the negativity and everything, right? It's just enjoy it and have fun. If the talent's having fun, the promotion's providing a good time for everybody, escape this crazy ass world that we're in and enjoy the 3-4 hours of the match that you're at for the night. And enjoy it. Don't nitpick it. Just enjoy wrestling.
Exactly.
So you were on another podcast a while ago. Trust me, I did a little bit. And it kind of reverts to my question. Talking about you met his daughter and everything. So do you know that you're now inspiring other boys, girls, children, whatever, to become a professional wrestling? You are a superhero to somebody. And how does that feel?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think about that until just now. So I get a little teary eyed.
And that's the answer that I wanted, because I think even, listen, 5 years in the professional wrestling business, I joke that you're a wily veteran, whatever. You're still a baby in professional wrestling. But you, at match 1, at match 2, touched a child, and said, that kid said, this is who I want to be. This is why I love professional wrestling now. So to get the teary-eyed, that's cool. I felt it once you started talking. So you did your job. Step away from wrestling. You're good. No, I'm kidding. Don't step away from wrestling.
And even with the training center, like Backbreakers, like with especially like our group right now, there's Nathaniel Cunningham, Donnie Bambino, the Dude, Damon Dante. It's very weird for me because technically I've been in the business longer than all of them. But, for example, Nathan has had 3 times as many matches as I've had. But like I feel like I'm kind of like Mama Bear. So like I'm always the first one to like check on them after matches, see how they went, talk to them. Like I want my friends to have fun in this business because that's what I want to do. So I just like looking after everybody, and I want this to be a fun experience for everybody.
Kudos to mom and dad, because you didn't learn that anywhere else but from your mom and dad. So as much as I poked fun at your dad earlier for joining wrestling, that's handed down from them, that you have an amazing soul. So thank you. We need people like that in the back, and that's your spot. And then you grow in wrestling as you grow on your own terms. But trust me, your friends enjoy you there, making sure everything's all right. So thank you. I don't know them all personally. I've seen some of their matches, but that's cool that you shared that with us. So thank you.
They're a pain in my butt sometimes.
Well, that's behind the curtain. Yeah. What's the best advice that, in your 5 years you've gotten from, have it be a Dina or, promoter or something, that has really stuck with you?
I've gotten a lot of really good advice from a lot of very, very different people. And the biggest thing, honestly, is probably just to have more confidence in yourself and to get out of your head, because once you're in your head, that's where you get distracted, you get lost, you forget stuff. So just be there in the moment and have fun. That's for here.
That's in life too. That's not just for wrestling. That's a great one in life. And enjoy life, because you don't know. We're going to turn into a Dr. Phil podcast here for a second. You don't know when that last day is. Go through life, enjoy it, live your moments, take your pictures mentally or with a camera or something, because in wrestling, and I hate to be the one, but one move and your wrestling career is over. One step off of a sidewalk and your life could be over. So enjoy everything you possibly can in life and be happy, man. Be happy.
And truly, I think a kind of a wake up for that is, in particular for me, was just at one of the more recent shows I was at. The one guy dislocated his elbow, and the other guy got knocked out in the match. Complete freak accident, like
wow.
Freak accident. Thankfully, everyone was fine, but it's just like that was kind of a reminder to me, like what we are doing is dangerous.
Agreed.
So you want with people you trust, and you're not doing anything that you aren't ready to do.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback that. Again, don't go to Martinez's wrestling school. Make sure you go to where there's notable trainers that have done it, that know what they're doing. They have, I'm joking about Yelp reviews and everything, but they have reviews. Ask wrestlers, talent, hey, where did you go? I'm looking into getting into this. They're not going to say, go to Can Crusher's Wrestling School because he has a great podcast. He'll teach you nothing how to wrestle on WWE 2K, but I don't know wrestling moves. Nor do I want to because I'm still a mark. I mean, my mom aptly named me. I'm a mark. I am. I love you guys for this. Do your work when you're looking for a wrestling school. There's a million of them out there. Don't go to your first one, kids. I'm off my soapbox now. 5 years into the business, we're getting close to wrapping up here. 5 years into the business, and even within that 5 years, there's been changes that have really impacted professional wrestling. I'm one that say the whole COVID time, the women took over. They really have, between Sasha and Bailey and Asuka and Britt and Thunder Rosa and everything. They carried wrestling for like my neck of the woods and our friends and Can Crushers listeners. That's what we really focused on. So that's great, but there's still some negativity in wrestling. So if you could get rid of something that is still kind of black mark on wrestling, what is that one thing that you'd wave your flag over?
So truly, I understand that technically we are all competing with each other, but people don't need to be dicks about it. You can be competitive and still have fun and still be a good person.
That was well said. That was short and sweet, and it made there was no PC answer to that. That was perfect. Thank you for opening up on that. Thank you. Because yes, that is so right. You are competing with yourselves. But listen, are we really competing? All right. That was Mark that said that. Don't throw hate at Shelby. All right. So 5 years out is a long time. What's your goals for 2023, 2024?
So truly, I go into this with the mindset of I just want to have fun. I want to have good matches. I want to try my best. But I don't really have a goal because, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy my time in the business. And if something happens from that, great. If not, that's okay because I'm still having fun.
Again, I love your outlook. I do. I wish more would have that. I wish on the podcast side, more people would do that too, because wrestlers might not know this. There's podcast hate as well. That, oh my God, Mark got this person on the show. Why didn't I? And I don't know, because I gave an extra cookie to the person. It's just whatever. Don't be dicks about it. Enjoy your time there. I agree. So where are you going to be? Oh, no, wait, I have to ask this one first. And I know you're like, hey, whatever, whoever, but I want your dream match. And I'm going to force you to pick one. So who do you want to wrestle at some point? Where? And I want a stipulation.
Oh, geez. So this is as my, Mark self, and because I'm a very big TV person, Paola Blaze. She is, she's known for 90 Day Fiance, and she joined wrestling. And I'm not going to lie, and I'm going to be very honest with this. When I was taking my first break, she was part of the reason I came back, because I saw her training and posting videos that she was getting ready for her first match. And so that just made me want to come back, like part of the reason. So it would definitely be a match with her. Either in Florida or Pennsylvania, because I just want to go to Florida to see what it's like, because I hear there's like alligators and stuff there, so I kind of want to see those.
Okay. News story. Let me break this real quick. News story. There's an alligator carcass spotted like I don't know, probably several counties in between me and you, like right in the middle. So I don't know how the hell an alligator got to Pennsylvania, but that was on the news the other day.
Well, as long as it stays out of my yard.
Yeah.
He's
Otherwise, you're getting a new pair of boots.
And not really a stipulation, but I would love for her to like put me through a table or a door.
It's called a tables match. There you go. Boom. Boom. All right. That's cool. Any place special in PA? Like
the Falcon's Nest in Mayfield,
okay.
Pennsylvania. That's where, we did a lot of our shows at Backbreakers. So that's like my home. So probably there.
Yeah. This way everybody can be there. Yeah. Get the home field advantage, literally. Yeah. So what do you have going forward, next couple months? I know this is kind of a downtime in wrestling, as we said earlier, but where can we see you pop up and so on and so forth? Plus, follow her social media. She'll give you all those here in a second, too, because you'll be able to follow her. But go ahead.
So this upcoming weekend, I have 2 shows. One is it's at T2I, and that's in New Jersey at Skid Row Academy. And then I'm also going to be in Troop, Pennsylvania at Smashmaster Wrestling. And I'm going to be in a Rumble in there. And then my next show is, I believe, January 14th. I'm going to be in the pre-show for PPW. And then I have IWA is coming up in February, and I'm really excited for that one.
Where is the IWA one at?
It's in Jersey, but I forget the town.
Okay.
I am not good with geography.
I won't. No, never mind. I won't even bring that up. So, what's your socials?
So, thankfully, all of mine is very easy. It's just _ Shelby Waters. Very easy on everything.
There you go. All right. Did I forget anything? Do you want to announce anything before we let you go? Did I cover everything you wanted to chat about? Did I cover too much?
No, I think we're good. Just next year, just wait, because I'm going to be bigger and better.
Merch, you forgot to cover. Do you have merch that you'd sell? Do you have pro wrestling tees or anything yet?
I don't have anything online set up yet, but I have shirts and I have keychains coming and stickers coming as well.
There you go. Follow on our socials. Bug her if you want any of those. I'm sure you guys can connect and get your shipping and all that handed out. You always have stuff at events with you, right?
Yep.
Merch table. Mom, dad working a merch table for you? Anything like that? Or dad's too busy refereeing. He doesn't even care about your merch anymore.
Usually I'll be at the merch table because I like talking to the people at the shows because I'm the wrestler, but I'm still a person and I like when people have just conversations with me.
Yeah. And that is what adds a lot to professional wrestling when people will chat about, alligators and, whatever. Final question. This one just popped in my head. Wawa or Sheets?
Ooh, jeez. All right. So I used to be a die-hard Sheets fan. I would defend them until I was dead, but they got rid of onion rings, and I'm the type of person, I will hold a grudge.
Clearly, especially over onion rings.
Yeah. So I kind of leaning towards Wawa now, and I hate to say that, but.
Okay. This will be Shelby's last time on Can Crushers, folks. Wish her well, and that's about it.
Listen, if they bring onion rings back, then it's they'll be my favorite again. But no reason to get rid of my onion rings.
No, I agree. Damn Sheets. All right, Shelby, I had a blast tonight. Thank you for coming on Can Crushers. Anytime, you got my number. Let's bring Dad on. I would love to talk to Dad. I'm not going to lie about this whole scenario. And we'll just follow you and have you on and just chit-chat.
I'll make sure he comes on. Don't worry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wave maker, Shelby Waters. What a fun interview. Man, I had a smile on my face this whole interview just because she's goofy, she's down to earth, she loves wrestling, she's in wrestling, she's doing it. essentially started on a whim, and then, like, I didn't know this. This was a fun interview. It really was fun. Like, I'm jazzed about this, and she's right. She got me when her dad signs up to be in wrestling now with her and to be a referee. That's got to be the hot take of this whole podcast. Just walking in, I don't know. I'm not going to rewind it right now to think about it, but let's say it's walking into Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, I joined wrestling. Crickets. The next week or so, I'm joining wrestling with you too, dear. That's awesome. That's family building wrestling. She said she took a break and she still had that wrestling bug, and it is just deep within you. So, man, I loved it. I had a blast tonight, Shelby. Thank you. Always, the door is always open on Can Crushers. Come on in, pop another one with us, and we'll chit-chat again. And if Dad wants to come on, Dad's welcome too. We'll set up a different outlook on Dad. So, all right, guys. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. All of it's at CanCrusher69. You want to be part of the show? Slide into our email. It's cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll schedule you. Come on, tell us a story. See if you can be bubbly than Shelby. I doubt it's going to happen because she's making waves just by having fun. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.